Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Touchpoint Group Banking App Insight session. We are looking at the March results for the UK market in this. And as usual, now I have Yazad Karkaria, our global head of AI analytics and strategy, with us. Now, it's a known fact that the cost of acquiring new customers is significantly higher than retaining the customers you already have. So focus on keeping customers happy so they don't leave you, possibly recommend you to others, is incredibly important. And understanding the drivers of customer attrition is critical. So today we have a special session to cover off one of the key topics that haunts any organization, and that is customer attrition. Yazad, I request that you give us a quick overview of the UK market first, and then let's dive into that journey of understanding customer attrition.
Sure. Thanks, Glenn. Yes. So in the UK market, we are tracking about 20 banks and financial institutes today, and we'll take a quick look at the performance of some of the key players in this market. So here on our screen, we have 5 well-known players. That's Lloyds, Santander UK, Capital One, Barclays, and Chase. So the numbers we are seeing over here indicate the engaged customer score since the period of Jan 2023. So the engaged customer score is the score taken from online reviews on Google Play and App Store for any customers who's given these banks a rating and has also explained the reason for giving the rating. That is, they have left a comment as well. The reason why we consider this set of customers is because these customers help us understand why they are happy or not so happy with a certain bank. So let's get started with the overview. The first bank we are looking over here is Lloyds. So Lloyds has been a consistent leader, but it lost its lead to Chase for the recent past few months. But in March, the engaged customer score for Chase has dropped marginally over here, as we can see, as a result of which Lloyds again has become the leader in the pack. Now, Barclays has put up a very strong performance since November 2023, and it's very close to Lloyds and Chase in the month of March over here, as you can see. The top 3 players, that's Lloyds, Chase, and Barclays, are quite close to one another. Another key bank we'll be covering today is Capital One. Now, Capital One's user experience continues to decline in March as well, and in fact, it's reached its lowest point in the last 15 months, as we can see. And the final one we have today is Santander. So Santander's performance dropped very sharply in November in this period, as we can see, and then January onwards, we did observe a marginal recovery, which continued in Feb. But in the month of March, again, we are seeing that their performance has dropped. And this is because they've launched a new version of an app, and users are quite unhappy with the version that they have released.
Yeah, so thanks for that overview, Yazad. And please, can you just take us through how do changes in user experience with the banking app determine the decision of customers to stay with an organization or to move on to their competition?
Sure, Glenn. So to start off with, what I'm going to do is I'm first going to give a broad overview and explain the relationship between the engaged customer score, that is the score that customers have given on App Store and Google Play, and customers threatening churn. So here what we've done is we've plotted some of the key banks in the UK market, and here we are going to understand what's happening. So to start off with, here we see Lloyds, which is one of the leaders that we saw in our previous visualization as well, has quite a high engaged customer score over here, as you can see, and it has a relatively lower incidence of churn. So this is the lowest point of churn, and it continues to increase over here. So Lloyds is sitting at a sweet spot where the app performance is high and the possibility of customers churning is low. On the other hand, here we have a few banks, Virgin, Monzo, First Direct, etc., where the engaged customer score is in a lower range, in this range of about 3.5, and the incidence of customers threatening to churn is on the higher side. So here we can see a very clear relationship between the ratings that customers give on the online reviews and the possibility of customers churning. Now, the key thing here, Glenn, is that this not only emphasizes the importance of managing attrition proactively, but also underscores the efficacy in using advanced analytics to arrive at these results and understand threatening churn as a threat to an organization.
Yeah, so that's where you really want to be, isn't it? And what are some of the key questions that we can answer to help organizations manage their customer attrition?
Sure. So using our advanced analytics platform, which has been designed to give you the answers for some of the most important questions that organizations would have in terms of customer loyalty, some of the most frequently questions that we get asked are, what is our attrition rate? Why are our customers disengaging or leaving us? What is the financial impact of customer attrition? And what do we need to do to minimize unwanted customer attrition? And using our platform and our CX expertise, we are able to answer these questions for our existing clients.
Mm-hmm. And what are those key challenges in managing customer attrition that banks face?
Yeah, that's one of the key questions actually, Glenn. So on my screen right now, you are seeing 4 very recent comments from banking app users in the UK market. And you can see that these are across a number of different banks as highlighted over here. So on my screen, there are 4 comments, and I can easily read these comments and actually pinpoint what are the key reasons why these customers are wanting to leave or switch to another bank. But imagine having to go through hundreds of thousands of comments on a daily basis to do this. The volume of customer feedback which is available through online reviews, along with various sources of internal customer data like surveys or complaints, is just humongous. The time that you have to understand and act on customer feedback is very limited if you want to minimize attrition. And that's one of the main challenges that organizations face. So in such a case, in absence of an effective analytics mechanism, it would be an absolute nightmare to understand customer attrition, quantify it, and act upon it.
So can you just take us quickly through what is it that Epiphany can do to help our clients?
Sure. So let me quickly explain this visualization to you. So we're still looking at online banking app reviews for the UK market. And over here on the left-hand side, I have the review rating over here. And on the x-axis over here, I have the impact. So different aspects of custom elements can be plotted on this graph. So for example, if customers are very happy with a certain feature in the app, let's say fund transfer, that's likely to appear somewhere over here where the rating is in the higher range and the impact on the overall score is on the positive side. Whereas on the other hand, if customers are not happy with some of the experiences they are having with the apps, the rating is going to be in a lower range and the impact of those topics is going to be negative on the overall score. So today what we are going to do is, based on about 87,000 customer reviews that we've received or analyzed in the last 6 months, we are going to be looking at 3 main topics, which are basically negative feedback that customers have given. And we will be analyzing this a little more in detail. Since they are appearing at the bottom left-hand side of my visualization, we can conclude that these have been rated poorly by customers and the impact of these topics on the overall performance is negative. So what we are going to do now from this point, Glenn, is we will take these topics one by one. So firstly, we are going to take a look at technical issues, which was one of the main topics that we highlighted. So when we analyze customer feedback, we don't look at topics in isolation, but we holistically look at topics in relationship to other topics. So here, as we can see, app technical issues is one of the key topics that emerges over here, and it is connected to some of the other topics like poor mobile app experience, which is quite a broad topic, then some specific topics like communication, then app login feature, and customers complaining about the app not working. So these are a few connections that we can see over here. And this tells us that when customers are talking about technical issues, there is a higher probability that they are also going to talk about one of these other topics that we see technical issues being connected to. Now, the reason why this is very important is because this gives us a strategic overview, which is very important before you embark upon any planning journey where you want to arrive at focus initiatives. So using this particular visualization, it helps you to track new initiatives or improvements when you have this high level picture in place. When I analyze this in little greater detail, I can conclude that if I work on the app login feature, then there are chances that fewer customers are going to report technical issues. And the other way around, when customers are reporting technical issues, I need to ensure that we are communicating with those customers in a way that's going to make them feel better when they're already stressed out. So this is just one key visualization that we use at a strategic level before any action planning decisions are taken to provide this holistic view to our clients. The next topic that we are going to look at is app login feature. Now, this is an interesting one because this is one of the topics which has got quite a bit of negative feedback. And at the same time, we saw that this topic was connected to technical issues as well. So we are going to answer a few key questions that our customers or our banking clients may have in terms of the login feature. First one is, I want to understand login related feedback in detail because it is quite a broad topic. There are several elements to the login experience, and here you can see an extensive list of topics and subtopics that we have, Glenn, to get a very detailed understanding of each of these topics within the login experience. The next question is, how many of my customers are talking about these topics? This is something we answer. And how do they feel about this experience? So here we can see the average score that customers have given while talking about each of these topics. So someone who's talking about poor app authentication is likely to give me only a score of 1.4 out of 5. On the other hand, customers who are talking about quick app login feature are likely to give me a higher rating. And the other most important question is, how likely is this topic to impact the way they rate us? This helps us with our prioritization and identifying key improvement areas when we look at the results, that is frequency and performance both together, which give us the impact. The next one that we look at is customer service. Poor customer service emerged as one of the drivers of dissatisfaction as well, especially when customers face a problem and they are trying to connect with the bank to get it solved. Here, customer service can have n number of different subtopics, as we can see. It can be something to do with the call or the staff behavior. Within each one of these, we have a lot of detail as well. Now, I'm quickly going to introduce you to one of the new features that we've recently introduced in our platform. So apart from the numerous visualizations that we already have, we have added a new feature which helps us arrive at a descriptive summary of any topic. And this acts as a catalyst in the process of insights generation and distribution. So this is using ChatGPT or OpenAI. What we've done is we are actually breaking down this topic of customer service into great detail and getting an understanding of very specific issues that customers have faced using this integration. So earlier, analysts would have to go through the comments and look at it manually. But now, with the availability of this feature, it becomes really quick and fast and aids the overall process of decision making in a much quicker way. So what we've done, Glenn, so far is we've just taken a look at a few ways in which we can analyze different topics which play a key role in customer attrition. And what I'm now going to do is I'm just going to summarize our learnings from this research that we've done. So firstly, Touchpoint Group has a detailed understanding of the key drivers of customer attrition. Now, having analyzed millions of user reviews across more than 100 banks globally, we have that data set and the sophisticated analytics framework that allows us to get this detailed level of understanding that we can boast of. And it's not just us, it's our clients who second us in saying this. And that is the reason why they engage with us. The next point is mobile banking app customer feedback, which is online reviews, is a leading indicator of customers intending to leave. Now, one thing we need to keep in mind is online app reviews is a very rich source of information, and it's also very sensitive to changes in user experience. Thus, this becomes a critical element of your insights ecosystem that you just cannot ignore. The third one is, after analyzing, as I mentioned, over 100 banks, we noticed that the best performing banks across the UK and US experience customer churn rates of less than 0.5. So this is where you want to strive and get to, having a churn rate of less than 0.5. And finally, poor banking app experience or performance increases the incidences of customers threatening to churn or migrate to one degree or another to apps of competitors. And the time that you have to act is very limited.
That is quite the comprehensive insight there, Yazad. And so let's just run through some of the recommendations that we've got for you if you're looking at doing this. So really, the critical thing that you need to understand is you need to look at identifying and understanding the key drivers of customers that are threatening to churn. And with that, acting swiftly to avoid customer disengagement is so critically important, because more often than not, we all know it is not the problem that forces people to move. It's the fact that you don't do anything about it soon enough. It's how you deal with the problem that creates a great customer experience, not the fact that there was a problem in the first place. And then thirdly, the goal for all banks should really be the consistent achievement of threat and churn rates of less than 0.5%. And that threat and churn rate is a great predictor and a great red flag for you to look at in regards to an area of the business or an area of the app that you need to focus on and prioritize to improve. That's it from us. There is a lot to digest. Yazad, I really do appreciate the time that you take to dig down into this. And we have, yet again, only really just skimmed the surface of what is possible. So if you would like to have a deep dive in regards to the attrition and the churn risk with your banking app, feel free to sing out. We'll do a deep dive session for you, and we'll see what we can uncover with you and maybe even your competition. That's it from us. Have a great month, and we will see you next month for another Insights session.